Emotep, Dom Universe. So look, we got a very serious topic today. So y'all know how I also said in the video once that when I'm online, I examine what's going on in the world. I examine how people move, and you just naturally do this when you online. It's not like something you have to try to do because you see it every day. You see the same shit. Like just take the main social medias that you have. You got Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. You go on Twitter, you see a lot of depression. You see a lot of depressed people. You see a lot of homosexual stuff because you can post porn on Twitter. You see a lot of depression, anxiety. You see a lot of fear-based news. You see a lot of fake news. Then you go on Instagram, you see a lot of stuff about incest, stuff about homosexual. You see people talk about having sex with their uncle. You see people making fun of death. You just see a lot of weird shit on Instagram. Then you got Snapchat. You see a lot of thoughts on Snapchat. Even with Instagram, you see thoughts, but on Snapchat, you got people who like to smoke weed and post themselves in the club and drinking liquor and like somebody give a fuck. Like imagine just holding your camera up just to smoke some weed and that's weird. That's awkward. You see the same stuff, right? This because on these social media websites, people tend to move in sync. They move in sync. They moving together. They be thinking the same shit, right? So look, in today's society, I noticed that men have become emasculated, period, especially young men. And partially because of the weed and masturbation, because when you're doing this, you lowering your testosterone, you increasing estrogen. Estrogen is the female hormone, which makes you emotional and gain weight. You losing testosterone, you losing a bit of muscle, you may lose a bit of energy, you may lose a bit of sex drive, libido. But a thing here is you see toxic masculinity. You see men who act like, oh, that's gay. Just the littlest stuff. Like you see how I got long hair, right? And I got a scarf on. As if this discredits or takes away from me being masculine. And listen, in order for you gotta listen. I've said this many times. In order for you to become the perfect alpha male, you have to be able to balance divine masculine and divine feminine. You cannot be just one. So if a man thinks he's supposed to be super manly, that's toxic. You're insecure about your sexuality because you're trying to be a sexuality. You're trying to be hetero. You don't have to try to be a sexuality. See, and another thing is you got men who do shit like this, right? Say you got a woman with a little bit of meat on her body more than a man. He would take his time to examine and look for things to judge about the woman and be like, oh, she got too much meat on her body. But because he too skinny to pick her up because he a bitch. Or you may have a man who or a dude who judge a woman because she got cellulite, or she got a scar on her body, or she got a scar from a C-section, or she got a fucking stretch mark somewhere. And granted, you do see a lot of men accepting this online nowadays, but at the same time, you still got men, and you can see this still. You still got men who think stuff like that is disgusting, especially young men, because young men are not learning the right information in today's society. In today's society, you have babies with fucking tablets. If you go on the internet, you have to realize something. Sex is always being thrown in your face. Homosexuality is being thrown in your face, especially if you live in America, because America promotes homosexuality. America praises a fucking cross. That cross represents masculine energy. That cross represents a fucking phallus. That cross is a spinoff, basically, of the Egyptian Ankh, the Egyptian cross, which has a vagina and a penis. So there's balance there. So you gotta pay attention to what's going on in today's society, because then you got little kids. Now you gotta remember little kids. And this is why it's young men, right? You got little kids, right? I told y'all, when you are a kid, you are in a state of receiving information. You are feminine. It don't matter if you a man or it don't matter if you a boy or a girl. You are in a state of receiving information. This is why when babies see somebody do something, they copy it. This is why when you around people, when you growing up with an accent, you take on that accent. right? So sex sells. Sex sells. Sex gets a lot of views. Sex makes a lot of money. Whenever you go on the internet, all you see is ass and titties, twerking. That's all you see. And so kids, and I told you, and even with the celebrities are the biggest influences. Kids are the biggest audience. Kids are your biggest audience. Kids are on the internet. The kids are the biggest audience on the internet. You go look at toys on YouTube. You go look at little kids stuff. These have hella views. These videos have hella views. So the kids are the targets. The kids are the targets. Right? So look. Men are insecure about their sexuality. A lot of them. I'm not saying all, a lot of them. And you got people who do stuff like flamming. Flamming is when you do, I know y'all have seen this before, especially in school where you got two dudes who friends, right? And they act gay with each other. They act gay. And I told y'all once before, months ago, the truth be coming through jokes. The truth be coming through jokes. You see, when you on a basketball team, when you on a football team, when you play sports and shit, you touch all these men, you take showers together, when y'all tackle each other or y'all touch each other on the field. Everybody got testosterone. Testosterone make you horny. When you touch another person, you don't know what these people do outside of school, outside of the sport, at home, whatever. Whether it be your homeboy, you don't know what they do at home. You don't know how they act. You don't know what they do to themselves. So when you touch people, you get a piece of their energy. And they get a piece of yours. And so you probably go home after football because your testosterone is up. Testosterone increases libido. Men are naturally sexually charged. So you go home after football practice, basketball practice, and you masturbate. You was horny after you just got done doing all that with them other dudes. It's not nothing gay about playing sports. It's about you being mindful of how your body is being affected, how your mind is being affected. But look, a lot of men have become emotional in today's society. You see a lot of men online with depression and are emo or talk about how women hurt them, right? And I'm telling you, I see this a lot. I see it a lot online, and a lot of people, a lot of males come to talk to me about this exact shit. For the past few years, actually. So look. So you know how women like to come at men or make fun of a man because he's insecure. You got to realize something. Men are not right-brained. Men are not used to their feelings. Right brain is your feelings, your body, your heart, your emotions. Left brain is your masculine side, which is in logic and mathematics, analytical stuff, creative thinking, stuff like that, right? Just your mind. When a man gets his feelings hurt for the first time, this is why you see a lot of men who are heartless or don't like to show their feelings to women. They become a savage after they get their heart broken. That's the thing about men and women. We live in a society where women like to have multiple partners, like to go mess with multiple men and come back to that same man and share that energy that they got from that other dude and give it to him, giving him a spiritual STD. You taking spirits from one person and giving it to your main, right? We live in a fucked up society. But what I'm saying is a man ain't supposed to dwell on his feelings in that way. Even women, but still. You got a lot of men who intake soy. This is where the term soy boy comes from because it increases estrogen. It makes you emotional and grow man boobs. Then you got stuff where people say stuff like, oh, this man had no father figure. It's not even about that because I grew up with mainly my mom. My mom took care of me. My mom was my father figure. So being that my mom had this masculine dominant side to her, she taught me how to be a man. She was hard. She would punch the shit out of me. I got whoopings from her when I was younger. She punched me in my chest, right? I've never been touched. My dad never came around to tell me, no, that's not right. No, you don't do this. No, this is how a boy or a man is supposed to do this. I grew into the man that I was because of my mom. My mom taught. I can't even remember one thing that my dad taught me besides save your money. And that stuck with me. Just because I ain't never like been around him that much don't mean I never learned from something from him. But what I'm saying is, just because you don't have a father figure in your life, that does not mean that you cannot, that don't mean you're going to automatically be gay. People like to take feminine dudes or gay dudes and be like, oh, you had no father figure. Because it's men out here it's dads out here who allow their kids to be gay. But you got to also realize something. Like I said, kids are in a state of information, right? So like I said, if a couple months ago or however long ago this was, in the video I said, you got drag queens coming to schools teaching kids that it's okay to wear dresses and shit. You got to realize something. As soon as you give your child to a school, you letting somebody else teach your child about shit that don't matter. So when our government is going as far as sending drag queens to schools to teach your child stuff like that, that is when you are failing as a parent. Because this child, and I'm not saying, look, just listen. Because when that child come home, they gonna be thinking about this. They gonna think, okay, that's right. They teaching your child. Now, I take back when I said you failing as a parent, because every parent is not aware of this. And plus, every child not gonna come home and talk about that shit to their parent. But what I'm saying is, when your child is at school and they got drag queens coming to teach them that it's okay to put on a dress and put on makeup, teach little boys and little girls, but mainly the boys, that it's okay to put on a dress and put on makeup, instead of letting the child naturally choose its own sexuality in life, because kids are not even at the age to even fathom sexual energy. They're not even sexually developed yet to even understand where they're supposed to aim their sexual energy, at the same sex or at the opposite sex. Kids don't give a fuck about relationships like that. And then you got to realize something else. If you always around men, like I said with the football thing, energy rubbing off. You gotta remember taking time for yourself, identifying your own energy, and knowing, just like with empaths, knowing how when you go around other people, knowing how to not react to other people's energy. Because listen, your subconscious is a powerful thing. What you are witnessing and experiencing in life, and your subconscious taking that shit in, especially if you experience it at that moment, your subconscious is going to look for things to make this happen in your life. It's going to align your life with things that you experience. So if you like to indulge in certain stuff, that's what your life going to become, basically. But like I said, it's nothing wrong with playing sports. It's about you being mindful of how your body and mind are reacting to stuff, or how your mind and body are being affected by your environment. But look, I'm not going, and it's not necessarily about, like, look, you know how I say celebrities have the biggest impact. Celebrities are the main influence. And since kids are in the state of receiving information, like I said, kids are the biggest audience. They look at these rappers. This country and the industry of hip hop promotes homosexuality and homo thugs, homosexual men, and flamboyancy, right? And so since kids are seeing this, you see throughout time, clothes are getting tighter. I don't think people are noticing, but clothes are getting tighter. Clothes are getting smaller and more fitted to the body. Not saying homosexuality, I'm not saying homosexuality necessarily has a look, but you don't want your child walking around looking like fucking RuPaul. No offense, I don't give a fuck, but you don't want your child walking around looking like fucking RuPaul. Because last year, right, I saw this little boy on Instagram, this long ass video of a little boy. He had on a dress and he had on makeup, he had on a wig, he had on mascara, eyeliner, everything, with heels. And also he was on a drug. I think that drug is called ketamine, but whatever it is, it's just like coke. Why the fuck is he on the internet like that? Just imagine, as a father, seeing your son on your little ass kid. I think the little boy was probably 6 or 7, possibly 8. I may be wrong. Just imagine though, you see your child on the internet, not even 11 years old, not even in puberty yet. You see him on the internet twerking. You see, and I see look, I told you, you get on Instagram, you're going to see gluteus maximuses from all age ranges. It don't matter if you following them or not. You go on the explore page, you're going to see minors with their ass out. This is not, listen, listen, pay attention to your kids. You got to raise your kids better. We live in a fucked up environment. But see, and I got to go back to the artist thing, because kids are being influenced by the artists. I'm telling you that everything that the artist makes popular, the kids get everything, like all the slang, all the sweat, the dressing, like the swag, everything from how they talk to how they dress, they get it from the fucking artists. The artists call it drip, they're going to put it on. It's drip or drown to them. Drip or drown. But yeah. See, men, the problem with men is a lot of times when a man get in a relationship, he lose sight of his purpose in the relationship or out of it. After the relationship, if they break up, they lose sight of their purpose. You got to stay on your purpose. That's another thing, because you got to realize something. Don't nobody want you if you after a breakup not sticking to your purpose, and you hopeful for a better and stronger and new relationship, do you think you're going to get that if you're not sticking to your purpose? If you have nothing to offer to the table, if you're not in the love space, because when you doing your purpose, you creating love inside yourself. You're not going to find your best partner if you not sticking to your purpose. You're not. You vibrating at the frequency of a lazy bastard. If you got a job, listen, I've told y'all this so many times. If you have a job after high school or during high school, if you got a job, use your job. Save as much money as you can. Forever, how long it take. Listen, use your job. Use that money you get from your job to invest in a future for yourself. Invest in a legacy. Build, create something for yourself. No man or woman, but mainly, I'm talking to men right now. No man is supposed to be sitting at home depressed because he don't know what to do, or not doing that, and because you depressed. That looks sorry as fuck. Cause I know it's a lot of dudes who go home when they hurt and they turn on some depressing, sad ass music and sit in their room and smoke some weed as if that's going to help you cope with the pain. That's only temporary. You want to get rid of the pain for good, or you want to do it temporarily. See, a lot of men, they're becoming flamboyant. I'm telling you, marijuana, alcohol is lowering your testosterone. Masturbation, addiction is lowering your testosterone. Listen, we live in an era of unplanned parenthood where a lot of men like to not take care of their kid. That is the lowest form. That is one of the lowest forms of a beta. You're not even a man at that point. You're not a man if you leave your child's life. You are stripping your child away. How do you put a child in this world and then leave the child life? That child is a part of you, whether you with that child or not. You have a spiritual connection with this child. You gonna feel this child whether they get a new parent or not. That child is a part of you. That child carry your DNA. That child grows inside of the sperm sac first. The man first. The seed grows inside of the man first. Then your seed grows into a tree of life. It comes from a caterpillar to a fucking butterfly. You supposed to be there to see that process. You supposed to help that process. Listen to me. One thing I know a man's supposed to do, or a man's supposed to be, right? And this is something, everything I'm going to tell you is something that I naturally am, and I'm speaking from my own self. And then you got dudes who will call you sweet because you got long hair and a scarf. Like, I won't still beat you the fuck up. But look, you got men. See, men, when it comes to men making decisions or what you want to do in life, one thing you're supposed to be is certain, not in between, not maybe, but you're supposed to be certain. And this is something I've been practicing for over a year, is being certain. You can't be procrastinating. You can't be hesitating to do shit. You're supposed to pick and go. Because that's you being between right and left. That's a bit feminine and indecisive. So another thing is, men are supposed to take responsibility for their actions and what they, and like, if you did something fucked up, take responsibility for it. Men are supposed to have integrity. And not be a flip-flopper, because like I said, that's the same as you saying you would do something and then you not doing it. That you're not being a man of your word. Like I said, you know how I said, to become the perfect alpha, whether it be an alpha man or alpha woman, you have to balance divine masculine and feminine. Not just one, not just masculine, not just feminine. You have to be both. This means you have to be able to utilize your heart and your mind, thinking and feeling from the heart and the mind, being dominant, and submissive, right? Being passive and aggressive. You get where I'm coming from? You have a heart and a mind, you have estrogen and testosterone. You have feminine and masculine energy just like you. Or just like women. Everybody got it. Emotional and logical. You got to be both. You have a yin and yang. Everybody got a yin and yang. It's about balance. You want balance, you have to find that balance. It's not you got to be this manly man. You got to be walking around with your chest out. Oh, I got a goatee. Oh, I fuck hella women. I got a big dick. That's not what... See, because if you have too much sex, you're losing testosterone. You get a testosterone boost, but you still increasing estrogen. This makes you connected to the vagina. So when you're not getting the vagina for a long period of time, the man becomes moody. And this is why when a man is pissed, some people say, oh, you need some pussy. One thing a man is supposed to be is considerate of other people's feelings. Not just your own, but when you have friends or family or a girlfriend, whatever, you're supposed to be considerate of other people's feelings. The thing about men is they like to be dominant and worry about themselves. A lot of them. You have to be considerate. You're not the only one that matters. But this is also about, this can also go to women. But a lot of women who are like that are very heady and have fire energy, which means they're in their head. They have masculine energy. That's what's that word? Narcissistic. So another thing I will say, because I got this shit written down. Every man, no matter what situation you in, no matter if you facing fear, whatever you do it in a grounded way. Where it's because look, just like with anger, the energy of anger, that's a masculine, heady energy. When you angry, your energy is in your head, right? When a man is angry, he's supposed to use that energy to, like, when he working. This why when a man is doing hard work and somebody come bust his concentration, he's like, what? With a fucking angry face. Or this why when he working, his face is all scrunched up like this, because he focused. When you stop him from concentration, it's going to be irritating. It's going to irritate him because you fucked up that focus. Now that energy is just in the anger area. It's not being directed at something. You fucked up the flow. But yeah, a man has hella will. A man has willpower. That's very masculine. You got to realize something. In order for a man to stick to his purpose, take care of a child, be the best version of himself he can be, he has to have the will to do it. If you have no will, what will you be doing? Men are passionate and loving people. They're supposed to be. If you think about how men used to be before this society, or even how they looked a bit feminine with long hair. Matter of fact, look at the Lemurians. You know, humans used to be hermaphroditic. We used to be a perfect balance of masculine and feminine before it was technically a such thing as man and female. We was asexually producing. But we live in a dual planet. Men are supposed to be creative and protectors. A man is not egotistic. A man knows how to step back from his ego, especially when it comes to fear or doing something. Because the ego likes to be right. The ego likes to identify things and make you fear things. When you feel fear, you're supposed to stand up with your chest up in front of fear. You're supposed to stand up in fear's chest. Right? Fear is an illusion. Nervousness is a gateway into fear. When you feel nervous, this ain't nothing but you being uncomfortable. This ain't nothing but you being uncomfortable in a new situation that you haven't experienced or you haven't experienced enough. Nervousness, you can stop nervousness. But listen, the man is grounded. The man is full of testosterone. When a man is full of testosterone, he is, I want to say a manly man, but also, how do I say this? People who got too much testosterone, they're too toxically manly. But when you balancing your energy, when you know how to, because testosterone make certain energies like just go haywire. Certain masculine energies just go haywire. A man supposed to know how to harness his energy, because when the moment a man has like anger and he just blurts that shit out, or he start an argument, or he just in his feelings but he letting it out his mouth, that's you becoming feminine. You're being feminine. You being a bitch. When you start complaining about something not that it's bad to complain sometimes, but when you complaining about something you know that you could do, that is you're being feminine. You're being feminine. You get where I'm coming from? A man knows how to harness all his masculine energies, just like anger, just like with aggression. Even the feminine energies, a man knows how to harness these energies. Men do what? They lead. They take over the ship, right? Men control the ship. Your body is your ship. Control the energies inside your body. Men protect, they don't destroy. When it's anger, you don't use anger to destroy, you use it to create. Men are supposed to be alchemists. Men are supposed to be able to transmutate their energy. Everybody technically, but men, it seems like men forgot who they are. That's pretty much it. Get back to your roots. Step out in nature. You need to, a lot of men who lost sight of themselves, all it takes is you blocking out everything that's going on in the world, right? You need to let me slow down. You need to find out about yourself. Take time for yourself. There's a lot of masculine men out here who get their feelings hurt, who hella sensitive. I made videos on stuff like that, but listen, no man or woman supposed to be sitting in their room depressed about nobody. And I know what that's like, going home depressed because you just got your feelings hurt, and then playing depressed music as if the depression music is supposed to help you not be depressed, when it's just making you more depressed. You sitting there crying from it, right? Crying is actually good, but crying makes you feel better. It makes you stronger. But that's pretty much it. Imhotep, Dom Universe taking off. Listen, man. Get it together. 2020 coming. Men are builders. Men are workers. Men are creators. This year, that 2020 that's coming up, this year is about creating and building for yourself. That is literally the energy. We have Jupiter going into Capricorn. I literally got that. I got Jupiter in Capricorn in my my natal chart. This means you are prone to become at work, be getting fortune and fame from your business, or your career or your job, getting a promotion, gaining more money, just randomly getting money from somewhere, or having success with a created business. Abundance. So this year, you're going to be able to tap into that energy. I mean, we're second off. Happy New Year's. Technically, it's not the New Year's, but technically New Year's for the Egyptians is March 22nd, but whatever. I love you all. Peace.